Hello, welcome back once again to another episode of the Ultimate Contest. It's been a while since the last match, and we're going to see what we can do for you today. We have Mr. V15HY at rank 5 challenging Mr. Skylork at rank 3. And Skylork is trying to work his way up. He already has his next challenge ready, so if he wins this, then another exciting match will be soon to follow. And if Vishy wins this, then most likely Vishy himself is going to try to get higher up on our lovely little ladder. That's a tongue twister on its own. Lovely little ladder. There you go. So starting off at Sirius, we should be seeing some ships coming down soon. Vishy is doing a quick relog. Just for convenience sake, I will be pronouncing V15HY as Vishy. I hope nobody takes offense to that. But I can't be bothered properly pronouncing V15HY every time. It takes too long. So starting off in Sirius, and Vishy already has his ship selected. I don't think Sky has his yet because he's still... Oh wait, we have a landing. Can I get an exciting reveal? There he is. It's a hunter for Skylork, as was predicted, and it is a hunter for Vishy as well. So Skylork tends to play the hunter every system he has it. Vishy a little bit more flexible with his choices, but in Sirius doesn't have that many options, I don't believe. In any case, the hunter obviously a very solid ship to play. So let's see what we get here. Hunter v Hunter can be quite technical, can be quite RNG, depends how it turns out. So let's get going into this match. I was really banking that they would just start at that point, but they haven't done it. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all. And I need to disable my Discord noise before people complain about that one. So let me remember to do that. Professional production quality, people, don't worry about it. There you go, we should now not be bothered anymore. And any second now, these lovely little players will start the match. Maybe they've already started. I don't know. Maybe they're just both very, very careful. Yeah, we see a little bit of movement. I think they started and they're just psyching each other out. Let's see. Vishy moving in, Skylork moving in. Are we doing anything? Okay, Vishy puts his buff up. So Vishy gets the buff before the first SB. That's technically an HP advantage. Yeah, Vishy slightly ahead. RD, both need to RD. RD, not in time for Vishy. A little bit late. So pulling what has jokingly and not offensively been dubbed the Vishy maneuver by someone that wasn't me. But yeah, the Vishy maneuver, slightly late on the RD cast there. Obviously the stun making it difficult, probably not cancelling his blaster shot just in time. And that's a quick 1-0 for Skylork. So let us see how Vishy is gonna turn that back. I favored Vishy, but he needed to get the RD off way earlier. Skylork also late on his RD, by the way. But getting that first stun and just, yeah, killing Vishy before the response could come out, that's all you need. You gotta be decisive in Hunter v Hunter. Get your stuff out early. That's what I liked about Vishy's playstyle. I liked that he put his buff before the SB. Because on the first SB, he was more than 10% HP ahead, and that's a huge deal in a mirror matchup. But yeah, if the opponent stuns you first and you don't get your response out in time, your items don't load in time to get a response out, then yeah, that's gonna be game. So quite curious about what system Vishy is going to pick now. Draconis has been selected, alright. Skylork obviously. No, Skylork doesn't get to pick, it is Vishy picking. And yeah, Skylork unfortunately has only one Draconis ship available, unless if he put some of his OTB earnings, sorry, to good use and has purchased himself a second Draconis configuration. He does have the money for it at this point. My own Cryonite is proof of that. This is all OTB money, pretty much. Before OTB was introduced, I had less than 1 million Cryonite, and I have not farmed since. I've shot, I think, 1 or 2 BPs in Syria that I needed since then. The rest of this is all OTB. So Fishy brings out a Hunter, and the ship we're expecting Skylork to pick is going to be the Chromium, which is an interesting matchup, in my opinion. Fishy could be picking a much harder counter if he wants to. I'm not sure if he has access to it. Let me actually take a quick look and see if I can figure out if he has other ships available. Yeah, he is on Draconis tech. Well, he also has a Chrome. I'm not sure what other configurations he has, but yeah. So, Fishy with a Hunter, and we're expecting Skylork to be in his Chrome. Yes, he is. So, should be an interesting matchup. Hunter slightly favored, Chrome struggling to deal with the range exploit without putting himself in just a losing position. Because, you know, you AB in, the Hunter AB's out, you gotta waste your trap, you have no reset, Hunter puts his buffs, you die. That's my quick description of this matchup. But obviously you can never count an OS ship out, especially against a low armored ship such as the Hunter. So, could be quite interesting, or it could just be a decisive victory. Honestly, in either side, I think this matchup is one of the more balanced ones that the Hunter can play. But let's take a look, see how it goes. We're banking on some good range exploiting for Fishy. If he doesn't get at least a few free SBs off, then he's not going to have the best time ever. His ship is quite significantly faster though. Fishy choosing not to AB out, puts the buff, puts the actuator as well. That's painful because now he has to be the one ABing in. Yeah, he can't afford to waste his buffs like that, going in for at least another SB. Okay, and just takes the reset on that. So Sky uses his RD. I feel like Fishy should be full resetting this. Sky also putting the actuator on top of that, so let's take a look. It looks like we have another spectator here. Yeah, Sky's just gonna go in. Understandable choice. Let's see if he gets the trap off. No! Ooh! Actually placed it on himself, so wasted the cooldown. That's very unfortunate. He's probably gonna have to go for a reset now, because he's gonna get range exploited. There's not much he can do about it at the moment. Fishy getting a good AB out there. My apologies for the camera work. Let me... Yeah, there are some items here that have value to put on the Mantis, and the Mantis don't really damage their ships that much, so... Both Trap and OS are decent items to put on a Mantis, if there's a Mantis near your target. Let's see if Fishy gets in range. He will get in range eventually, the question is how long it takes. Fishy currently is slightly behind on HP. Sky obviously doesn't have the trap yet. He should have most of his other cooldowns though. And Fishy, yeah, puts an actuator up. I think he's right about to get in range. Yeah, there's the range. He just wants to get his cooldowns back a little bit. I bit my tongue there. My apologies. Probably gonna see an AB chase. Yeah. So Sky is kinda hard pressed on the defensive, and that's an acceptable situation to be in, but not if Fishy can range exploit it. Yeah, he's just taking free damage. That's not really what you want. His ship is very tanky, taking barely 10% damage per SB. Oh, that was a good crit. Goes for the OS, not critting hard enough. Fishy now needs to RD obviously, but Sky might be in a little bit of trouble. I think Fishy can chase this. Fishy agrees with me. Once he kills this prot, Sky should just be dead, because then it's a stun and done. Yeah, stun should come out now. There it is. And Vishy just has the better DPS. Sky won't get his OS in time. Let's give it a second chance. Needs to... I think Sky needed to hold his OS a little bit longer there. Man, that ship has armor though. He's almost competing despite his own opponent having a buff, but almost isn't good enough. And Vishy takes the win with 25% remaining, tying up the series 1-1 and giving Skylork the choice of the next system. Yeah, I think Skylork needed to hold his OS a little bit longer. Usually on the Chrome you want to just kinda throw it out for luck shots and then reset with the trap whenever available, but in the Hunter matchup the range exploit is too strong, the speed difference is too big. To do that you kinda need to use your OS defensively, hope the Hunter overextends. Because if Sky wouldn't have used his OS there, then Vishy can't make that push. He still needs to RD, like, quite early on. He won't get that much value out of it, and then as soon as the RD ends, Sky can drop an OS, and OS 2-3 more blasters, Vishy's dead. But yeah, by doing it before the RD, he doesn't quite get that effect he was hoping for. He needed to get the actual one-shot there for that strategy to pay off, and didn't get lucky enough. So, a little bit unfortunate on Skylork's part. Obviously OS, a very luck-dependent item. It has a big range of possible damage that it can do. But I think in this matchup the Chrome just kinda lacks the control that it normally enjoys over its opponents. So you kinda need to keep that OS for a little bit of almost like deflection, like offensive defense, keeping your enemy away by the threat of that spontaneous damage that you can dish out. So Sol has been selected. Skylork brings out the Chrome again and Vishy brings out the Hunter again, so we get to do a rematch. Of the previous round, and let's see if Sky has learned from his mistake, or if we're going to see the same result repeat itself once over. Should be interesting. The previous match was quite close, not very one-sided, wasn't just crit OS and done, so that's good. I feel like this will be enjoyable. I will be starting my timer because both ships at different points in the fight will want to reset. So we could be in for a long one, even though the previous one wasn't, just shy of 4 minutes. This one might be. Both players report ready, so let's get into the action. And we're off. Vishy moving in for that range exploit, Sky A being in to break the range exploit. Vishy puts the buff, going for a little bit of deflective firepower here. But here's the thing. Vishy throws out a quick stun. Probably baiting the protector out. Yeah, needs to RD though. Yeah, so this is what I meant. The OS, the threat of the OS crit is so big that Vishy needed to put his RD quite early there. Ooh, A being in. Once that RD runs out, he will die quite quickly. I think he needs to be at range. He's not. OS. It all comes down to the hit now. That's a good hit as well. This is gonna be down to the wire. And Sky gets it, 1%! Ooh! Yeah, so Sky with a good bait there. Throwing out the trap. I'm not sure if he calculated that, or if this was just... if it just worked out better than he thought. But yeah, throwing out the trap, making Vishy think that he needed a reset. So Vishy's like predator instinct kicks in. And he wants to chase the Chrome down. He's like, I have an AB, I can just negate this trap and I can kill him. And overestimating a little bit, if Vishy is at SB range at the end of that, he either outright wins off of range exploiting, Sky had no defense left at all, or the trap buys Sky enough time to get an item back. And then Vishy, because he's at range, can just go for a casual reset, no harm done. So Vishy not quite careful enough, but an excellent bait by Skylork there, really well played. And it looks like we have a few more spectators. So Mizar gets selected by Vishy. Mizar meta quite interesting. I've said it multiple times. And I'm quite curious what we're gonna see. Skylork adds me to a chat room, so let's take a quick look. It did fully repair. Oh, this is... This is on a topic that we've discussed, that I've been discussing with Skylork a few days back about the armor of the Chrome and how much an RD will do to it. So just ignore that. This is irrelevant. You can ignore this technical babble if you're not interested in that. We're talking about RD scaling and armor values and overhealing. For a more detailed explanation, leave a like and subscribe, and comment that you need a video explaining the finer details of the PG mathematical system, because, you know, that's super interesting and stuff. I don't know. So Vishy picks out an Emperor. Let's get back to the actual fight at hand. Vishy picks out an Emperor. Quite a solid option in Mizar. I don't think there's that much that beats an Emperor, if anything at all, to be honest. I can't think of that much. I'm not sure what you want to play against an Emperor. I'm tempted to say the Rare Storm might be, unironically, be your best shot. But a good range exploit is going to beat that, so... I don't know. The VQ isn't good. Isn't that good? VQ isn't very good against Emperor in any system. So Skylork brings out the Hunter. In most systems the Hunter is favored over the Emperor, but in Mizar it's a slightly different story, because the buff being knocked down from strong to rare hurts the Hunter quite a bit. Because it's all about, on Hunter it's all about that multiplication of your buffs. The Actuator and the attack charge, they multiplicatively stack. Which means that a small difference in the strength of the buff is now a lot bigger because it gets amplified, it gets multiplied by the Actuator. And the only reason the Hunter wins this fight is because of its overwhelming damage, which is now a lot less. So I think it's at least a lot closer to 50-50 in this system. And I would arguably say that the Emperor is favored, but let's see. I feel like Vishy still needs to play quite careful. Skylork's best chance is still the classic strategy of walking in and getting his DPS done. Vishy going for a quick AB out. Sky putting his buffs up. Let's see if he's in blaster range at the end of it. Yes, he is. Okay. So now we get down to the wire. Let's take a look. Vishy starts with RD. Skylork now puts his RD quite late against a thermo ship. That's risky business. Ooh, almost. Yeah, he's dead. That's too late. Can't afford to do that. So... oh, long RD. Yeah, that'll get you. Some minor shots fired at the player that convinced him that long RD was good. I've said it before and people will flame me. Feel free to flame me down in the comment section below. Feel free to write if you disagree with my opinion. I'm not personally a big fan of long RD. I feel like any ship with more interesting items than a blaster can exploit it. Like, ships with control can just... You need to press the RD very early on long RD, so ships with control have a pretty easy time just resetting it and then coming back in when your RD is down or when it's about to run out. Ships with more DPS than just a blaster will outright DPS through the long RD, which, you know, is not good, especially if there's a thermo or if there's an SB or like anything of that sort, the high DPS items. You don't really want to have a long RD for that, you're just gonna die. But even a blaster plus actuator already out DPSs a long RD, unless if you get very unlucky misses a lot in a row. So I'm not personally the biggest fan against most ships. There are very few ships that I recommend playing a long RD against. But it depends a bit on the ship that you have yourself as well. So Skylork selecting Sol again. Series is tied up 2-2, meaning that we have turned our best of 7 into a best of 3. So the next person to win 2 rounds is going to get the win. And Skylork selecting Sol. Skylork has 2 options in Sol. Vishy has more than that. Sky's options are going to be the Chrome and the Hunter, unless once again, and the Sniper, I should mention, unless once again if he has purchased extra ships. Vishy has more options but chooses to stick with his Hunter. Vishy has only played 1 non-Hunter ship so far. This will be his 4th out of 5 rounds playing a Hunter. So let's mildly tease him about that. Because I don't think Sky's choice is going to depend on it. Sky also brings out a Hunter, which is roughly what I expected. So yeah. Too many Hunters. Too many Hunters. But it's fine, we get to see another Hunter v Hunter. Anyway. But let's see another Hunter v Hunter. Very, very interesting gameplay here. Never seen this matchup before, so I'm very curious what the result is going to be. Yeah. Let's take a look. It seems like we are off. And first SB. Vishy this time not choosing to put, quite late in putting his buffs actually, multiple shots here, and Vishy the first to stun. He does need to force an RD here. Okay, forces the RD and now he's gonna reset out. Yeah, so his ship is faster because his opponent is stunned. So he's gonna reset out, wait for the RD to run its course. He needs to be back in range at the end of it though. Because Sky is not stunned anymore. Vishy has no real way to catch him now. And that's a bit of an issue. If Vishy catches Sky now, then he would have won. But yeah, playing a little bit too careful. Obviously Sky is the stun. And if he lands a stun while Vishy is at that low HP, then Vishy just dies. But yeah, not quite the result Vishy was hoping for. And now Vishy acknowledges Sky's RD is gonna be back up too quickly. I can't fight this. And I apologize, I didn't actuate. So I'll be a few seconds behind those guys. Doesn't look like they got in range, so because they're the same ship, Vishy is going to get a full reset. And we should just be seeing a restart of the fight once the RDs are back up. We're gonna go back in before the buffs are up, so Vishy gets the slightly worse trade there. Skylork 3% ahead. So Vishy probably gonna go for a full reset now. Some very stylish, no, obviously not. Vishy not that, how do I put it mildly, that cautious of a player. I think that's the fair way of putting it. Vishy with a very early stun, forcing out a quick RD from Sky. Gets stunned himself in return. AB's out. Once again though, like, There's nothing preventing Sky from just getting a reset. That's the issue with Mirror Match. Vishy is doing good moves on paper. If Sky ABs into this, he dies. He needs to be out of range at the end of his AB. He's trying to force an RD. He's gonna get it. I think Vishy's in range. He wouldn't put the buffs otherwise. I think Sky messed up. Yeah, 2 SBs is gonna do it. 1. And 1 more. 3, 2, 1. Poof. Sky messed up. He needed to be out of range there. And he just wasn't. Miscalculating a little bit. He tried to just like go in for the poke, force the RD, and then back off. But not quite fast enough on the footwork. So that's a quick 3-2 for Vishy. Sky gets to select the next system once more. But yeah, not quite cautious enough. Vishy gave himself a good opportunity, and Sky should have just went for a reset off of that, I think, instead of chasing in. But letting himself get baited, slightly too much. We'll see. Sirius gets selected. Vishy is now at match point, and we shall see what sort of thing these players are going to bring out. Hopefully not hunters. Please don't let it be hunters. We've seen enough. We've seen enough of the hunter for one day. It's gonna be hunters, isn't it? It's gonna be hunters. Well, Sky hasn't chosen yet. Oh, I see some drones on a Siri Hunter. Don't you do it, Sky. Don't you do it. Does this have drones as well? Okay, so he has drones on both ships. My hopes are alive. Just barely. Does Vishy have anything interesting selected? Emperor... Punari. Why doesn't he bring out the Punari? It's a good ship against everything Sky has. Punari is good. It's not great against Chrome, but it's fine. Emperor, okay. So Vishy throws it up to a 50-50. More or less. If Sky's in the Chrome, Vishy is 1. Almost guaranteed. If Sky's in the Hunter, Vishy has 1. Sorry, if Sky's in the Chrome, then Vishy has 1. Wait, I've very much confused myself. I'm going to ignore that. That didn't happen. We're ignoring that I ever said anything in that direction, because I went too fast in my head for my tongue to keep up with it. Let me try it again. Bring out the Emperor. Emperor is gonna beat the Chrome that Sky has, and it's gonna lose to the Hunter that Sky has. That's why it's a 50-50 what Vishy did, and it looks like he has lost his gamble. Sky brings out the Hunter, is now heavily favored in Siri. Hunter quite heavily favored against the Emperor, provided you know how to play it, which I'm fairly confident Sky does. So yeah, okay, let's not do more flaming before things get out of hand. We'll leave that written message for the viewers to enjoy, not for the people in game. 8 out of 10 hunters in total, more or less. That's about right. Let's see how this one turns out. Because this is the reason you pick the Hunter. It's because it kills the Emperor, and does pretty good against almost everything else. An Emperor kills everything else, but you can't pick the Emperor because the Hunter exists. Let's see how this is gonna go. If Vishy manages to win now, I look really stupid. So, as much as I'm an unbiased and neutral observer, I do really hope that Sky wins. Sky goes in, will soon be in range. ABs, only 1 SB is all that Vishy got, and that's just not gonna be enough. Sky will be in blaster range at the end of this. Ooh, very high damage right away. Oof. Fishy's going to have to put his prod soon. I feel like Sky probably could have forced it. Stun. Yeah, Sky not liking his hits enough and goes for a reset. I agree to that. I think he dies. Fishy wisely not putting the prod though. A lot of people would have instantly clicked their prod, but Fishy sees that Sky is just backing off, going for that reset. I don't think he should be flying towards Sky though, because he has the slower ship, yeah. Well, we should now just be seeing a full reset. Fishy needs to wait for his RD to come off cooldown, to then use it, and then wait for it to come off cooldown again. Sky needs to get his RD. He still had his RD, so... No, his RD ran out. I'm not sure if he was 100%, actually. I didn't select him before he got out of range. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, so Vishy gets his first RD up. And now, in about 50 seconds, he will be ready to fight again. Sky probably needed to stay a little bit closer to his prey there. He has the faster ship, he has no real reason to run very far out like he did. A little bit over cautious. You can see there's now quite a big gap separating them, so Vishy will get the full reset off of this. And we'll see if that's enough to bring him an advantage on this trade. But yeah, Sky just not liking his hits in that first run. Probably... Yeah, I think he was hoping to either crit through the RD, like force the Protector quite early, and then he can stun once the Protector runs out, but... Vishy just not giving him that, the hits not being good enough. His own RD was about to run out, Vishy got pretty good hits. And Vishy now starting to move back towards the fight. Gonna start setting up for... Yeah, looks like we're gonna start setting up for the next engagement here. Skylork over there. Ooh, there's a rare barbarian. Go pick up your pattern. Not sure if Vishy has rendered in on Sky's screen. He's walking into a dead end. Doesn't matter that much because Sky's the one that wants to be running in. Misses against the rare barbarian. That's painful. So buffs come up and we see a repeat of the first round. Once again, Sky takes quite heavy damage, down to less than 50% by the time he gets in range. Already RDing. Vishy RD is early. I feel like against this early RD, you just put the stun. Because he'll kinda be overhealing, or if you get good hits, you just kill the Protector, but... Yeah, Vishy now, he sees he got a good trade. He puts the Protector preemptively. I'm not sure if Sky's gonna get out of this one. I don't think he is. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Sky not quite careful enough there. I feel like against that early of an RD though, you can just put the stun, either reset or kill the prod. With the stun's duration is long enough where if you have your buffs running, you get about half of your... Yeah, I think roughly half of your stun effect still going, but yeah. Vishy a little bit luckier with the hits as well, as Sky said, 2 misses in the end there, but Vishy had a lot more than 2 blasters worth of HP over Sky at the end, so... Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Vishy takes the series 4-2, rising up to the 3rd rank that Sky previously held. Sky drops down to 4th. Pretty exciting series, I think. Pretty close matches. Unfortunate quantity of hunters, in my humble opinion. I've had more than enough of the hunter, but not everyone shares in my opinion, so it is what it is. This game's meta is not something that any of us decide. So on that note, I will be heading off. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.